Welcome back, class. In this lecture, we will criticize the social contract theory which we have earlier discussed in previous lecture. Uh, you know that the theory is has its importance on its own place, but it is not free from criticism. So it has merits and it has certain fallacies or defects which cannot be ignored. So solely in this lecture we will discuss its fallacies and defects, and at the end we will also share some its values of this theory or some of its merits. So let's start. The first point is that it is uh, unhistorical. So it is one of the chief defect of the social contract theory that it is historically false. It claims to be a historical explanation of the origin of the state, but it has no foundation in history. In the whole range of human history, we do not find any living state of nature without social relationship, nor do we find any evidence of a social contract which created the state and the society. So, in short, there is no historical evidence of the social contract in the human past. So, uh, if they don't know, then how they formed, then how the people formed a society, how the individual forms a group or a state. So, state is what? State is a growth. State is not manufactured or man-made. It is uh, it give birth to child of growth of uh, as a growing process. It passes through the growing process. So uh, this is evident from the historical records that how the state has been grow, not manufactured. So historically, it is unsound. The second is it is sociologically unscientific, mean that it is the theory, the so- the social contractors are of the view that that the man lived in an isolated life, that he has no relation with the others, isolated life. So it becomes unscientific and false one. You know that he cannot live an isolated life, but social history is explains that the people live in the form of families, tribes, and they formed a social unit, social group, which formed a society. So it was not from contract to status, but from status to contract. The theorists are of the view that first they formed a contract and then they formed a society or status. So it seems incorrect. Henry Mann is a chief exponent of this view, and he says that the individual has been steadily substituted for the family as the unit of which civil laws take account. The movement has been from one of status to one of contract. So man was of the view that from status to that first they build that particular status, a consciousness of kind, and then they formed they created a society, and they formed a contract. So scientifically it seems sociologically unscientific. The transition is impossible. Transition means from one phase to another phase. So the basic assumption seems to be very wrong, that a sudden transition from a war, like from a nasty, from a very bad side of uh, society and a lawlessness condition to a law abiding or peaceful society or a system or a state. So sudden transition seems unscientific or impossible. It seems impossible. Also, with respect to the human character, human habits, it seems illogical. It requires a long period of training, a long time uh, that he got training Training means training in sense of education, social control, development to bring about this transition. And so the psychological basis of the contract theory is also uh, unsound. So this is a sociological one, psychological one that seems to be very untrue. Next, the theory seems to be illogical. How it seems to be illogical? That the social contract theory is full of several logical fallacies, like that it presupposes equality among men in the state of nature. How the people became equal are in the state of nature? They possessed natural rights. Men were living independent. The right exists in civil society. So to them, state is mechanical. They made the state a mechanical one that been created and uh, by a contract, and they joined a contract and formed the society. So as far as the rights are concerned, men lived separately and independently of each other and had no common life at all before the formation of the state. Natural rights was not a right, a claim recognized by others for common good, but natural force. So man's freedom was limited by his own power, which was unequal. So he had therefore no liberty and no rights in the state of nature. So they exist only in civil society, a state where there is a common social consciousness and a common authority to defend rights and enforce duty. So, lastly, the whole concept of the state of nature and of law of nature is wrong. It is based on belief that state is an artificial or mechanical one. That they formed the state mechanically. So we know that state is not formed in this artificial way, but it is a birth of natural process or a natural growth. Understand this point? Next, the theory is self-contradictory. How it is self-contradictory? The contract theory is based on self-contradictory reasoning that it declares that man in the state of nature came together to enter into a social contract and establish a state, right? But this fact of coming together shows that they had common, so means that they have some consciousness that they come together to form the society before that. So it means that he was pre-social. So contract theorists are of the view that before it there was before the formation of the society state there was nothing. So the even the individuals have no idea, but it seems self contradictory that when they form the societies, when they come closer together to form the society, so it means that they had some common consciousness before they met each other, and that the state had it means that the state was already there. The state was already in their mind or arisen among them before they entered into a contract. Understand this point? So, moreover, the contract itself, again, the term contract seems here, uh, the term is legal term, a contract term. To them, there was no law before the contract, and when they formed a contract, so all the things became appear. So there was lawlessness, and so there was no consciousness of kind. So there was no reasoning. So they entered into a contract, and they formed a society, a common to all. So it presupposes a system of laws and to enforce it, but the advocates of the social contract declared that there was no law before the contract. In short, the theory is self contradictory and illogical because the original contractor must have already known a common authority, a body of laws, and a common political consciousness. Consciousness. Next point. It contradicts the two phases of state. Uh, what does it mean? The contract theory, yeah, theorist asserts that the relationship between the individual and the state is a voluntary one. But The state is a compulsory association. It is not like a commercial partnership between some persons or for private interest and purposes where the parties signed a contract, a sort of thing. But the theorists dealt that in like manner. But as far as the state is concerned, it has different understanding. It is a permanent union for common ends, for the unlimited purposes. Every man is born in the state. Or the state is compulsory part of man. The state is a part of him, and he is part of it. So it is important one for his life. It nourishes it, he nourishes it, and it nourishes him. So it is a partnership in all sciences, and a partnership in a very virtue and all the perfections. So he is part of it, and so it become a partnership, and we cannot ignore that he is born from it, and living all this depends on it. And the last point, with respect to the criticism, is it is dangerous one. How it is dangerous one? The theory of social contract seems to be dangerous to the safety and the security of the state. In the second bullet, I have written that this proclaims that state is an artifice of man's own making and therefore can be taken down to pieces. So they formed a state by a contract. Similarly, they can diminish it, they can destroy it. So by it, a state became a playing in the hands of the revolutionaries by their own choice and their own will. So such were the teachings of Rousseau, which led to the excesses of the revolutionaries of French in 1789 and after that. So, to reduce the power and functions of the state and the government and to declare them as mere handiwork of men is to make them a matter of their capture and whims. So, its logical results would be subversion of all authority, which may lead to the dissolution of the state. These were the sort of criticism with the negative uh, tone with this important theory. But in the last slide, it has some value. The value of contract theory. We cannot ignore its value. It's a part being shared in the life of the state and the peoples and society, etc. So, first of all, it emphasizes the fact that the state is a human institution and not a divine creation. Before it, you know that we have already discussed that state to divine origin theorist, it was the creation of divine origin theory and force theory. But at last, the contract theorists are of the view that state is a human institution created by humans and not a divine creation. More than this, it lays stress on the fundamental political truth that the state rests on the consent of the governed. So means that people formed a society. These are the public, these are the individuals who formed. Their consent is being considered here, that they at least they formed a state or society. And the third is that from this we can assert that will, it is will. If you remember the sayings of T.H. Green, that it is will, not the force, with the basis of the state. So will became the prominent position or consent in the creation of the human institution. That is what state. So it also gave birth to modern concepts like the modern democracy, and it refutes absolutism or the divine rights of the kings or the sport and sports what democracy or modern democracy. So we can say that the origin of the modern democracy can be traced from the writings of these social contract thinkers. So they contributed a lot to give the latter period thinkers a more chance to think about more and more to forms more and more better sort of uh, uh, space for the peoples to live in a peaceful way. And the last bullet, proper, it is a proper interpretation of state and individual relationship based on the will. So it is the will which uh, which inspired the thinkers to made a society. So proper interpretation of the state is that individual is that the relationship based on, so the relationship of individual and state. So this relationship based on will, and this will gave birth to uh, consent or will to the rule of the governed, and this rule give hands to the modern democracy, and it ignores all others mm, tools or others related concepts or terms, uh, and give more prominent position to democratization or others. So this theory combated the claims of the irresponsible rulers and privileged classes, and give value to the power of the to the voice of the people of the society. And also this the idea gave a place to the coming latter thinkers, and to value to the at least to the humanity to live in a peaceful way. So we have discussed in today's lecture some strong criticism against this theory, and on the last we also valued this theory. I hope that you have valued from this lecture very much. So thank you very much.